There's some incredible TV coming out of the UK right now. Brits just do it differently. The accents, the wit, the scenery, the devastating one-liners disguised as compliments. It's all streaming on BritBox. They have the best mysteries, dramas, comedies, and seriously addicting originals like Outrageous, based on the true story of the Mitford sisters. They were kind of like the Kardashians of the 1930s, wealthy, audacious, chaotic, wildly opinionated, and always making headlines. And chances are you've never heard their story. It's stunning. It's jaw-dropping. It's very British. So check out Outrageous. It could be your next favorite. Don't miss Outrageous, streaming now only on BritBox.
And we're back, folks. It looks like Jim from sales just got in from his client lunch, and he's got receipts.
His next meeting is in 2 minutes. The team is asking, can he get through his expenses in that time?
He's going for it. Is that his phone? He's snapping a pic. He's texting Ram.
Jim is fast, but this is unheard of.
That's it. He's done it. It's unbelievable.
On Ramp, expenses are faster than ever. Just submit them with a text. Switch your business to ramp.com.
Welcome back for another episode of Reality Life with Kate Casey. I got to tell you, this episode's pretty funny. Chris DeRosa is back with me. We talk about Love Island USA, which is back on Peacock. Whole new season, great show for you to binge. You know, they're making terrible romantic choices on national television. And for that, I salute them. Also, we discuss in this episode a show called Toxic. This is a series that is done by Elizabeth Chambers, who is married to Armie Hammer. It is a 6-part true crime series that airs on ID Discovery. And essentially, she is using her own personal experiences, including her high-profile divorce from Armie Hammer, amid allegations of infidelity and abuse, to delve into the complexities of other toxic relationships. So the series features interviews with survivors and experts. It explores patterns of gaslighting, love bombing, manipulation, and emotional abuse. As you could imagine, I have some opinions about that, and Chris does too. So that is going to be this episode. I have to remind you that the What to Watch list this week has a bunch of good stuff on it, including Love Island USA. So you want to go over and check that out. One of the shows that I think we're all kind of awaiting with one eyebrow raised is Next Gen NYC on Bravo, which follows Bravo stars' children as they stumble into adulthood, one brunch, breakup, and spontaneous decision at a time. I don't know if it's going to be that interesting, but I think that we all should collectively watch together, and then we can form our opinions and then circle back to headquarters. Also, I've got a bunch of documentaries on the list as well. One that you absolutely have to watch, I covered in yesterday's episode. It is the greatest con story in sports I've ever heard. It's called Kaiser, the greatest footballer never to play football. It's on Prime Video. It is about a Brazilian football player. He never actually played the game. He convinced others of his abilities with help from journalists, friends, socialites, etc. And he moved from club to club, avoiding actually having to play football at all. So it's sort of like Catch Me If You Can meets Brazilian football / soccer. You're going to love it. So check those out. And then lastly, there is another one. There's a new series on Netflix that's called Trainwreck. And the first episode this week is the Astro World Tragedy. That is on Netflix, that series. I don't know if you remember this, but November of 2021, Travis Scott, who at the time was with Kylie Jenner, he stepped on stage to perform his set at Astro World. And what would have been the best night of the festival goers' lives quickly turned into catastrophe because 10 people ended up dying. So it takes a look into what happened that evening. And so you can watch that again on Netflix. So lots to check out there. Check out the episode from yesterday. I've got a great Saturday series episode this week. So lots in store. On Apple Podcasts, you may have noticed that now I have bonus episodes. You can subscribe. It's going to be so easy. You're going to love it. More anecdotes about the making of this podcast, pop culture stuff, true crime, stories of the aristocracy, stuff that you guys love that are featured in a lot of documentaries and series I will cover as well. So make sure that you subscribe. And again, This episode is going to lift your spirits because Chris and I always have the best time together. So here is my interview with Chris DeRosa. Chris, I'm so happy to see you.
I'm so happy to see you.
Well, I've got some good news. Love Island is back. Love Island USA. Sometimes in the summer, I like a show that may be completely, it's kind of like a soap opera. You're like, it's completely boring, if you will. But when you string all the episodes together, you feel like you got something. You know what I mean?
Sure. I don't know if I agree with your sentiment, but sure.
All right, so it's back on Peacock. Here's what you need to know. They're in Fiji, which I would presume is a super fun place to work in theory, but over weeks, you might get a little bit of cabin fever. What do you think?
I feel like it depends on where they are. I mean, I know it's like beautiful there, but then also like the mosquitoes. Like I feel like I feel like Fiji's a place where like mosquitoes like dine on you. Right. Am I wrong? Like that could be something really bad.
Yeah, no, it would be an absolute nightmare. So, okay. So here's what you need to know. They've got a group of singles, which they call islanders, and they've got to compete in challenges. And throughout the season, they're going to bring in new contestants that they refer to as bombshells. They're going to come to the villa. There are going to be public votes influencing who stays and who goes.
Oh, God.
And they want to win cash. Ariana is, again, the host of this. I went through some of the cast and what they do for a living, just to get your feedback on whether or not you think any of this is actually accurate or an exaggeration.
Okay.
A tattooed TikToker from LA. That's probably right. Because there's no vocation to that. That's just...
Oh, that's what they said? I thought you were saying like that's what they actually are. Oh, no. Yeah, then that's real. That real. Ding. Like, great.
Belle, BELLE, -A is a coffee shop owner from Honolulu. That's probably right.
Yeah, I think that's right.
A pool worker from Northville, Michigan.
Pool worker?
Yeah, what is a pool worker?
Like a person that cleans the pool? I mean, that's sure.
But when they put pool cleaner?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But again, that seems right.
Maybe. Okay. An astrology enthusiast from Orlando, Florida. So they're unemployed and they like to look at astrology stuff online.
That's like they have a Substack about astrology. That's what that is.
Okay. A fitness coach and single mom from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, I do fitness things on my Instagram. You know what I mean? Or like, I do Zooms where I tell people to do sit-ups. Like that's, yes, 100%.
Yeah. A model from Los Angeles, a model from LA.
Duh. Hello. Yes.
But is he a working model?
But like model, like I'm a model too. You know what I mean? Like who? Yeah, sure.
Do you remember when we were in college and people were like, well, I'm getting into modeling. And you're like, oh,
yeah, like some creepy man is like taking your photo. Like that's what that was.
Yeah. Nicholas Van Steenberg is an adventure-loving nurse and model from Jacksonville, Florida. So they do pictures of like bathing suits on their Instagram.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, sure.
And why adventure-loving nurse? Why did they add that in?
I don't know. It's so, because it's like not just a nurse that's like in the ER all the time. It's like they're like out and about.
That's true. A first-generation college student from Alabama. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. A cowboy from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Are there cowboys in the city of Oklahoma City?
I mean, I'm sure the city isn't that large. And I'm sure they're from like nowhere. And then so they say Oklahoma City because we know what Oklahoma City is versus it being like
Podunk, Oklahoma. Although
like Mawank, like, you know what I mean? Like Oklahoma, which I made that up, obviously. But like, that's like, where is that? We don't know. But like Oklahoma City, we do, in theory, know what that is.
So you don't think it's like he works at Saddle Ranch or something? Like with a mechanical bull?
No. I think he's probably like a ranch hand. You know what I mean?
Okay, good.
Like that's real. Like those people exist still.
And then the last one is a Miami native seeking a fresh start after a long-term relationship. I like those descriptions better because like what you do doesn't really matter. Because if you're an astrology enthusiast, you're not doing anything.
Yeah, like marketing or like blah, blah, we're like, okay, that means you have an Instagram. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, like a marketing executive, that's a job.
There we go.
You know
that
what I
would
mean?
be
That's a job.
Right.
Well, also too, I mean, like the cowboy 100% is a guy that wears like Levi's and like no shirt and is like has a cowboy hat on and is like
with
using
a piece of hay in his mouth.
Yeah, and like is using a rope to like reel in the viewers. You know what I mean? Like that's like right, correct. Like you know that guy that like literally chops wood, like
sure.
His name is like Thor or something.
Right.
And he literally just like is hot in theory and like chops wood. And that's his entire Instagram. And he's like made an entire business off of it. Yes. Like that's what all these people are.
Yeah. Like he's got merch. He's got a line of like sparkling drinks now.
I'm on a blocking spree of people that are like all these people that are like POV, like you're a nurse and this thing is happening. I'm like, goodbye. I don't need to see this. I'm just like on a blocking spree.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, I don't need to see this anymore. I don't need every person that's on the internet needs to be doing like a day in the life of like,
oh, for sure.
Of like whatever the fuck job you have. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need, like, can you like give me an IV?
I don't need that. Yes.
And like, there's 7 people waiting in the waiting room to like get care. Can you go deal with them? Not like do a TikTok.
I know. Do you know how many doctors' offices right now are on TikTok? They're making dance routines that are at least 2 minutes long. I have concerns for our world.
And I get if it's like, I'm a plastic surgeon and I want to like put my work on like, show that like, oh, I did this person's like under eyes and they look amazing. And like, let me show you the before and after. Like that's advertising. But like when it's like, here's this doctor like coming down the street being like, boop, boop, boop. I'm like, can you like go do a surgery? Like, I don't need you. Like, am I wrong? Is this?
Well, then you'll have like a dental office and then you have the doctor's front and center. And then the woman who works at the reception.
Like all the receptionists are behind them when they're the little scrubs. Yeah.
And they can't do the dance. And they're like, I just have to do this to keep my job. And you just want to do a GoFundMe for them.
Here's what I need. I need people to DM us, me and you, if they are like swayed to go into that dental office / doctor's office / veterinarian / like whatever, you know what I mean? Like any kind of like medical care facility because of them dancing on TikTok. I need you to message me and say, I saw this TikTok send to me and that made me want to go into the dentist's office.
Yes. I would like
and get my teeth cleaned by these people that are, instead of doing their jobs, dancing. That's what I would like someone to DM me. Thank you so much. And it be truthful.
Okay. Also, I would like for us to produce a television show, a dating show, where when we release the cast list, instead of saying what their occupation is or lack thereof, we give a little bit more insight into what their problems are. So, for example, Austin has a father that's been in jail since he was 5. Marie has problems with commitment because she found out her boyfriend was cheating with her mom. Like that to me will be much more useful in getting a good sense of who those people are.
Yeah. I actually have like a perfect idea for this. So we have to like.
Okay. Well,
I want to do a documentary about these again, like these like a nurse that's like day in the life of a nurse and they're like hot and they go to the gym all the time. I want to see all the stuff.
Yeah, what really happens.
What they really have to go through to like do this. Like, I'm just like a normal person walking around. And I want to do one about the fitness influencers. They make me want to jump off of 17 bridges. And they're just like, here's this workout you can do. And they're like so ripped. And I'm like, you like work out for 4 hours. Like you doing like jumping jacks for like 15 reps is not giving you this body.
And then injecting themselves with peptides. Absolutely.
And steroids. Like, so the men, especially the men, it's like, which PS, every male fitness influencer just turns into like, I have an OnlyFans where I like jerk off and you like, sorry, I know.
I think you're right. I do.
But like, no, I know that I'm right because I've like went to the links to be like, is this real? And then seen it and then been like, oh.
Yeah.
Like I'm aware because I've seen it. Like I've been in the trenches. I'll tell you that much. But like 95% of these people that are like, I'm working out, even like ones that aren't gay, you know what I mean? Or like,
yes,
I'm working out and then blah, blah. And then they just end up, eventually it just all turns to OnlyFans.
But why has anybody put that in their bio as to date? You know, OnlyFans enthusiast or cameraman for OnlyFans.
I know. And like, like there are all these people that like film these people that are like just porn stars that do OnlyFans and just don't. Like that own their own content. There's like
that's the documentary. That's what we want to see.
The camera
people
person,
behind
the camera
the
person.
Scenes, how it all gets done. Right.
I think that's fascinating. I would watch
know,
that.
absolutely. I couldn't agree
To truly
with
be
you more.
like, how do you do this? And like, it really is interesting because as much as it's like, oh, OnlyFans, LOL, haha, like the net, like, it's kind of like going independent on anything else where it's like, instead of it being like, oh, you do this scene and get paid $2,000 and then they make like millions of dollars off of it on Pornhub, like they're actually owning their own content, which I think is interesting.
There are so many things in life we just never get around to. Taking up that hobby, cleaning out the garage, the little things that don't really make huge differences in our lives. Yet, there's one thing that most of us have probably been neglecting that can have a huge impact on our family's future. It's life insurance. And with SelectQuote, getting covered with the right policy for you is easier and more affordable than you may think. SelectQuote is one of America's leading insurance brokers with nearly 40 years of experience, helping over 2 million customers find over $700 billion in coverage since 1985. If you have high blood pressure, no problem. If you have diabetes, that's fine too. And even if you have heart disease, SelectQuote partners with carriers that can cover those conditions and others. Head to SelectQuote.com and a licensed insurance agent will call you right away with the right policy for your life and your budget. SelectQuote, they shop and you save. So get the right life insurance for you for less at SelectQuote.com/realitylife. Go to SelectQuote.com/realitylife today and get started. That's SelectQuote.com/realitylife.
You know those creepy stories that give you goosebumps? The ones that make you really question what's real? Well, what if I told you that some of the strangest, darkest, and most mysterious stories are not found in haunted houses or abandoned forests, but instead in hospital rooms and doctors' offices? Hi, I'm Mr. Ballin, the host of Mr. Ballin's Medical Mysteries, and each week on my podcast, you can expect to hear stories about bizarre illnesses no one can explain, miraculous recoveries that shouldn't have happened, and cases so baffling they stumped even the best doctors. So if you crave totally true and thoroughly twisted horror stories and mysteries, Mr. Ballin's Medical Mysteries should be your new go-to weekly show. Listen to Mr. Ballin's Medical Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
Okay, another influencer that I read about in New York, she got married at the Hoika Castle where the Jonas Brother won, the one who got married to the girl that he met on the cruise ship, Danielle.
Sure.
They got married at that castle that I think one of the housewives may have either gotten married or attended a wedding. Anyway, she had an assistant video her throughout the wedding, like batch videos, and then was posting it on her account, like on TikTok as the wedding went on. And people apparently went crazy for it. That's the documentary I want to watch, is that person and what their life is like. Do they come home and stare at a wall?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I can never get back that day of my life. Yeah, I agree with you. We're sitting on a gold mine. There we go.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're interested, a couple differences between Love Island UK, and Love Island USA. Love Island UK, way more episodes, like 49 to 60, but US is only like 30 to 40. They're a little bit more like
that's too much for me.
Covered in makeup and lashes, a lot more glam adjacent, if you will. The UK does.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. No, of course, because they're all like Towie girls, right?
Absolutely.
Like they're all like Essex and like, yeah, they're like, yeah, which like love, PS,
Absolutely. And it gets a ton of media coverage over there. Hugely popular, culturally influential.
It's like their biggest show, right? Isn't it like a humongous show there? Yeah.
Humongous. Over here, not so much.
No.
And also, if you were to ask
me... No, but people watch it. I don't, but people...
Yeah, but not like a lot
of
it's not like a cultural
It's not
phenomenon.
The Kardashians, yeah.
No. So the other thing is the as I mentioned, the look. I thought this was kind of interesting. If you look at the differences, the UK one, it's like a lot of head to toe outfits from UK brands, and the US will do the same thing like Revolve or Fashion Nova, but they'll kind of do this like American West flavor. Well, they'll just have them wear like cowboy boots and trucker hats. So I think for the people who live in the UK who watch the Love Island USA show, they'd be like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. The fashions on these dating shows are it's upsetting.
Okay, so people should know that you can watch Love Island USA on Peacock, and it's every day except Wednesdays. So if you're looking for someone to watch
every day,
so if you're looking for somebody to watch, you can watch it. It's a lot.
Oh my.
Yeah, I know. Maybe people get committed to it though.
No,
And
I get it, but it's
I just need to let people know that of the few seasons that we've had over here in the US, like very few couples stay together.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, every single, not one person that you've read in that description list was someone that wanted to go there for love. It was someone that was going there to promote whatever the fuck was in that description.
Correct. Yeah.
Period. Which is fine.
But
fine.
Like, let's be real.
That's just simply what it is.
That's the name of our forthcoming documentary on the people behind the scenes. It's called Let's Be Real. REEL.
Oh, goodbye.
End scene. Okay, we have something big to talk about. And I don't know if everyone's aware of this. I know. Well,
no, I actually like this show, but keep going.
You do? Oh God, we have a lot to talk about. All right, it's called Toxic: Real Stories of the Dark Side of Love, 6-part series, ID Discovery. The host is none other than Armie Hammer's ex-wife, Elizabeth Chambers. We subjected ourselves to watching episodes of a Hulu show about the Grand Cayman Islands in which she was like a featured cast member. And we had lots of thoughts in that episode, if you remember.
So many thoughts.
Well, let's first talk about the fact that she produced this. She's the executive producer of the host. Knowing that when we watched that Grand Cayman show that she refused to talk about her ex-husband, actually barely showed up to the shoots. She wanted to talk about
barely was
bakery.
in the show. Barely was in the show.
And now she's doing this project. What do you think about that?
It's funny, but then I also like that she's like flipped on it and been like, oh no, I'll talk about how Armie was a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like I like that part about it because then it's like, oh, you need the money, so now you're shelling it out. You know what I mean? You'll tell your story. Everyone thinks they can be like the next Lisa Ling and like be in the field and like be in the trenches. And like she doesn't do a terrible job in this.
What?
Doing it, but like
okay.
It's also an investigation discovery show where like she like the person tells their story and she asks them questions. Do you know what I mean? She's not like in a war zone. Like she's not like tracking down like you know what I mean? Like people that are like being trafficked or like something like that. Like there are those real shows like that exist. She's there, but like she's not really a part of the show as much as like she wishes that she was, or that she was sold the show on being.
Okay.
Right.
Well, the first thing I have to say is the premiere episode is titled Sleeping with a Stranger. It presents a story about spousal assault, setting the tone for the series. Like I said, I'm still reeling in the beginning of as I watched this show about how she was basically non-existent on the Grand Cayman show. And now she is being presented as an investigative journalist. Like she's had this long history as an investigative journalist. So then I go to Google. I find out she studied broadcast journalism in college. I studied political science. That doesn't make me a politician. Then she was a correspondent for Current TV and later worked with Entertainment Tonight, E! News, and Access Hollywood, and then became an actress. So this is to your point of anybody can make anything seem real.
Mm-hmm.
I thought a bit of a stretch for her to say, well, you know, this really harkens back to my old days as like an on-the-field reporter talking about crime. I just felt like it's a bit much.
I will say she's way more qualified than most people that try to do one of these shows that are like, I'm a celebrity and now I'm going to tap into this true crime audience, and they have no idea how to like interview another person. Like, not that she did that well.
I'm like, did she?
I will like say that like, at least there was one clip of her being like, this is Elizabeth Chambers for blah, blah, blah. Like, and we're here on the ground.
Could do
like,
that.
They made it. At least she had like one shot of that. Whereas like, I worked for a company for a long time that everyone came to us and was like, I want to do my version of This Is Life with Lisa Ling. And it was like, okay, but like you have no experience like being a journalist or like being an interviewer even. Do you know what I mean? And they would, and the number of pilots they shot being like, oh, right, we're here on the ground. And then the celebrity would be like, I have to like talk to this person. And we're like, yeah, like, so I will say out of all of the, at least she I had one archive clip of her with a microphone in her hand.
As you would say. Sure.
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 But again, what is the bar here also is the other question.
Well, it is ID discovery, so I would think it would be a little bit high. I mean, come on.
Really?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
Well, let's move on to the fact that the shots of the show drove me absolutely crazy. The way this show is shot is unbelievable. First of all, number one, she still loves a high half pony.
She never not in a high. She's never not in a high. Which, listen, if you know that works for you, sure.
I understand the
you know what I mean?
Halle of it all. Like you wear the same dress on a red carpet, but okay, do we change the tone from the Grand Cayman look to the true crime discovery 6-episode victims look?
I wish she was in a suit. I want her showing up in a lady suit. That's she's I'm all business here. You know what I mean? That would have been funny.
Hair down and straight, something like that.
She's influencer ready when she's talking to this woman who's here's the place where this man tried to poison my dog with chocolate covered pretzel. Yeah. And
dressed
she's and she's
Camille Grammer in Club MTV. Yeah.
And she's a North Face influencer dressed. You know what I mean? And she's wow. You know what I mean?
That's exactly right. That's her reaction. Wow. Okay. More shots of her. It's barely about the victim. Every shot is her, and she is always shot better. So it's an up-close picture with the worst lighting, and then they'll cut to her, and she'll have a black background.
And she looks great, yeah.
Surrounded by cameras, which, why did they... the shot of her sitting on one of those little stools, but with cameras around her, and then it'll quickly shoot to the person she's interviewing, and I put that in air quotes, or the victim, and they're in completely different setting with different lighting, but that they're talking to each other. So it's almost like they're shooting it to look like they're contestants on the $25,000 pyramid, but it's basically a shot of her and the other person is in the room, but looking at a different wall.
They think that this is so revolutionary with many networks are oh, we're going to show the interview setup. And I'm okay, who
I don't want
cares?
to see it.
It doesn't matter. And they think that's really edgy and different. And I'm we've been doing that on Bravo for ever.
Thank you.
Do you know what I mean? The random extra shot or the double shot. I've been doing that on cooking competition shows forever. It's so it's been done 9 million times. And so I'm just but they think that that's really ooh, look at us. We're on set. You know what I mean? Interviewing this person. And it's I almost want them to not be in an interview chair, and I almost want them to be sitting on the couch together talking.
Thank you. That's what I thought
Pulling
too.
a Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I just thought, where is Erin Moriarty from 48 Hours? She would be appalled at this.
Yeah, Leslie Stahl would not stand for this.
No way. It was just... It was absurd. And also, I did notice that the first episode out of the gate, remember she's host, executive producer, the woman kind of looked like her.
Did she? The one with the red hair?
Yeah. She looked
Yeah, kind of.
Long hair, lips, gorgeous teeth. That's the first person out of the gate is by the way, I had to look up more information about the case because it was hard to follow the story. It's 10, 15 minutes and I'm wait, what's the timeline? What's happening here? And that really disturbed me too. I'm what are we doing here?
And it's what's the point? Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, also it's this fake out that spoiler, it's a fake out that she's alive. You don't know if she's alive or dead. And then eventually she walks in. And this is the other thing they love to do on these shows now that I've noticed. And I don't really watch that much of the ID world. And so it's when I do watch it, I'm oh God. But they love to do a walk in and then you see them sit down in the chair.
Yeah.
And get ready for the interview.
I do think that that's probably overused.
They every show does that now. Every show I work on outside of Bravo is okay, we're gonna see them get in, and we want to see the moment of them getting ready to interview, so we can be marker clack. You know what I mean? They want it. They love that now, and I don't know why.
Lamont Jones's world is shattered when his cousin dies in custody just weeks after entering prison. The official report says natural causes, but bruises and missing teeth tell a different story. From Wondery comes Death County, PA, a chilling true story of corruption and cover-ups that begins as one man's search for answers, but soon reveals a disturbing pattern. Lamont's cousin's death is just one of many, and powerful forces are working to keep the truth buried. With never-before-heard interviews and shocking revelations, Death County, PA pulls back the curtain on one of America's darkest institutional secrets. This isn't just another true crime story. It's happening right now. Follow Death County, PA on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of Death County, PA early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus. In the first half of the 20th century, one woman changed adoption in America. What was once associated with the shame of unmarried mothers became not only acceptable, but fashionable. But Georgia Tann didn't help families find new homes out of the goodness of her heart. She was stealing babies from happy families and selling them for profit. Hi, I'm Lindsey Graham, the host of Wondery show American Scandal. We bring to life some of the biggest controversies in U.S. history, presidential lies, environmental disasters, corporate fraud. And in our latest series, a young adoption worker moves to Memphis, Tennessee, and becomes one of the most powerful women in the city. By the time her crimes are exposed, decades later, she's made a fortune and destroyed hundreds of families along the way. Follow American Scandal on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. Experience all episodes ad-free and be the first to binge the newest season only on Wondery Plus. You can join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. Start your free trial today.
I also don't like when you're looking at the person being interviewed and then they cut to a side shot and then a low shot and then a high shot. It's just stick with one, maybe two shots, but why do we need to do all these angles?
Well, because
it's too much.
Because they're being pressured by the network to like make it look different, and they like don't know what to do. Because at the end of the day, it's a true crime show where they like do reenactments, do an interview, and then do a little bit of verite where like the host walks around with the person.
Okay.
But they have to try to be like, ooh, this is like never been seen before. You know what I mean? Like,
I could think of 3 different variations on how to do a true crime show.
The number of shows that I've worked on, unnamed, but like that just truly like, they're like, and then we're going to do all this cool, crazy like cinematography with it. And like the number of hours of the day I've lost to like actually shooting the show to be like, we have to do all this cool, different cinematography that we have to set up and take so much time. And then to watch the shows and have all of that cut out because the network sees it. And it's like, what the fuck is this? No, we need it to be normal. You know what I mean? And like,
yeah.
And to see the actual show and be like, oh, the hours that I spent like finding a location for all these like crazy setups to happen in, and then for it to just none of that to be used at all, and it just be like the normal what you think of as like like this shot and then this shot and then this shot and then this shot. Like, yeah.
I know. I don't think you watched it, but there's a series on Hulu called The Fox Hollow Murders. That to me is really well done because they go to a property where this family bought a home. It's sort of like Amityville, and they're kind of like walking with you on the property. And I thought, that feels to me like a modern way of telling a true crime story.
And meanwhile, they're just like, that's like what you do at, like, that's just like, so.
Well,
like,
if you showed up at someone's house and they're like, dude, there was a murder here. This place is haunted. You got to come check it out. It felt like you're walking through the experience with the homeowner.
Yeah. But I'm saying there's like no tricks there. It's like you just get a camera, get a person and walk.
It is what it is.
You know what I mean? It's like you just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Even like whenever even in the first episode, they're like the woman, like the guy goes crazy and like is like breaking everything in her house. Like I feel like we didn't really get to see that much. It was all this footage from the police of like all the blood everywhere, which is like what they want to see. But it's like I wanted her to be in the house.
That's what I wanted.
You know,
I wanted her
like,
to walk through. Yep.
You know.
Well, then they cut to footage of him. And he's a real weirdo. And he's in a bathroom with like a tube sock on his nuts. And
not even his dick was out. I had to blur it.
One of my kids walked in the room and I was like,
and they were like, Mom? They were like, Mom. No, like truly. It was like really weird.
I don't know why they included that. I mean,
I do because it's shocking.
Okay, but he like just him talking with like from the waist up. Do we need to do like the blurred out? I don't know. It felt a little bit.
No, it was gratuitous because it was.
Thank you.
But again, that's investigation discovery.
I've seen a lot of great stuff on that network. I just felt like this was a swing and an absolute mess. I don't see that this is going to come back. And I couldn't imagine myself watching more episodes of it either.
What I liked about it was that the people were, from the 2 episodes that I watched, the victims of it were alive.
Okay. That's
like
good.
it wasn't someone's
good.
death. It wasn't like glorifying someone's death, which I feel like is like I can't. A lot of the true crime stuff when it starts with like a 911 call and the person's crying, I'm like no, I don't know what it is anymore. I used to really like follow a lot of true crime stuff, and anymore I just can't.
Yeah,
I don't want any of that. I like it's too sad. I don't like it. It makes me upset. It doesn't make me thrilled. Like I tried to watch that one documentary. Remember the guy? It was like the guy was like a friend. They were all sleeping in like a house, and like it was on Peacock, and like. The one guy was like, they found him dead in the house and they were like, who could have done this?
You mean
his name was like Kevin something? No, was that it? Yeah.
And that's a crazy story too. Well,
but like the first shot of it
him,
is,
right?
but I don't know because I didn't get past the first 5 minutes because it's like they're setting up the story. And then the first thing you actually see is like the 911 call and that the person's crying. And I was like, I can't watch this.
Did they walk out to the front door with robes on?
I don't remember. Again, I literally turned it off. I was like, nope, going to watch something else. But I liked that it was like, I lived through this experience and I'm like telling my story so that others can like, be warned.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean,
versus it's always like when I used to do like ID shows, it was like always like the parent of the child that died. And it's so sad. Right. And it's so like devastating. You know, it's too sad sometimes. I don't know. Who am I now? But
well, I'll take that. That is uplifting that they made it through.
They've survived it. And it's like, here's the warning sign. Like, I feel like I learned something.
My 2 problems with the show are as follows. I don't think she's a great host. And I don't appreciate that she was using it as a way to change her personal narrative. You know, she went through some questionable weeks where people felt like, are you really
defending this person? Yeah.
Defending him and winding up people behind the scenes. And this felt like, I'm going to take my power back by creating this series and people will remember that I'm a victim in all of this. It doesn't feel very honest. I don't know. She's still kind of a mystery to me. I don't know if she's a great host.
But the reason we're watching it is because she's the host of it.
I mean, the reason I'm watching it is because you told me we should watch it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I was drawn to it because it was her. So it's like,
yeah. Okay.
And you are right in everything you just said. I'm just saying, like, but she was like, I wouldn't have normally turned on like domestic disputes as an ID show. I'd be like, no, absolutely not. But the fact, like the framing of it was like kind of like, oh, I wonder what she's going to say here. What did she say? Not much, but you know what I mean? Like, but I was like intrigued just because of the high profile nature of like her divorce and all that.
I feel like in the end of it, when you watch this, I think anybody would feel like this is really a vehicle for her to have a lot of glamour shots. It's a lot of shots of her. She's driving in the car, a couple different angles, you know, her sitting alone. It doesn't feel like the survivor story really is paramount. It feels like it's a vehicle for her to be on a television show. And that
but I would say that like every person with a host like that does do that. Like I did an ID show with a host and like the whole point of it was like that host experiencing all of the things. Did she do it good? No. But like, I feel like that is the point of it is that she's the main person that we're following through all these stories. And so that's like the point of it. But again, like she's dressed like an influencer and then shows up and this person's like, here's where like this man almost killed me. And then she's like, wow. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like very odd to have her like be dressed like an influencer and then be like, wow. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, yikes. Yeah.
Okay.
And again, like, could she be in a suit? Like
something.
That'd be fun. Like, could she in like a hot suit? Like, that'd be cool.
I'm still stuck on like going back to my days as an investigative reporter. I'm like, I saw you on a Grand Cayman show opening a bakery. What?
Yeah. Well, she's trying to get money any way she can.
But I feel like she has money.
No, I bet you. I'm certain that she got $0 from him. 100%. Zero. Like zero.
Zero. Not one.
Like, yeah, zero. Truly, Erica Jane herself, like zero. Because when the mom, you never forget that I read his mother's memoir that she wrote herself. Right. That was the nuttiest thing that's ever existed. Mm-hmm. And in the memoir, whenever she wants to leave the husband who has cheated on her, he cuts off her credit cards and stops paying the power in her house, and her lights turn off.
Well, I remember I met Armie Hammer's dad in Palm Springs.
Oh, I forgot about this.
And he did tell me that he thought that she was a gold digger. But, I mean...
It was Armie's dad?
Armie's dad, Michael. Yeah. Handsome fella. Pretty eyes. Remember?
Yeah, he was...
He may have wanted to do a threesome.
He
and
wanted, he 100%
me.
wanted to. I'll tell you that much. I know that much from the memoir. He wanted to do a threesome.
He wanted to do a threesome, even though he met me with my husband and kids. And then they were texting me when I was back and like literally breast pumping for milk. And I said, oh, they text me. I want to hang out. He's like, you're going to leave your husband and your children to go hang out with Armie Hammer's dad? I was like, yeah, maybe not.
And also, like, to do what?
I know.
No,
he was nice, though. I gotta say,
they're
nice.
weirdos. They're weirdos.
Now, he may have like been a cannibal, and I had no idea.
Yeah, sure. No, like,
but at the time, he seemed nice.
I mean, never forget that he was gifted a throne that had a hole in the bottom of it with a cage and then like a meat hook inside that cage.
Right. Good to remember.
And they never said that wasn't real. They said it was a joke. So they confirmed that was real.
Air quotes, haha. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like never. That's the person that you keep saying was so nice. Just FYI.
Right.
Like, just take that in for 1 second.
Says oink. As we leave, I would like you to know 2 things. One, Sunday night, I sat next to a gentleman who, within minutes, I realized I had seen on an episode of $1 Million Matchmaker with Patty Stanger.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's how my brain works. Didn't seem to be living on high times.
A millionaire matchmaker type life anymore.
Right. And then the next day, yesterday, I went to go get a taco for lunch, and I sat close by a Notorious Bravo couple and tried to eavesdrop as well as I could, but there was music on in the background and a soccer game, and I did the best I could. 2 reality TV sightings in the wild. Have you seen anybody in New York? Ilaria?
No. Ugh. Wait, I saw someone. You know who I saw? In the airport in Chicago, I saw Niall DeMarco, the like deaf model.
Right. Gorgeous.
That like won America's Next Top Model. He's so hot in person.
I can't even imagine.
Like gorgeous.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you talk to him? No.
No, by the time he was walked by, I was like, oh my God, that's who that was. And I was like, wow. Like, but he was gone. And then it's like, what am I like? No, I don't need to go bother him. But I was like, wow, he's beautiful.
Yeah. Cause it's like, what do you say? Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Forget it. What's going on Fixing Famous People?
What isn't going on Fixing Famous People? We are doing a bunch of stuff. We have a really good interview that we did that I can't talk about yet, but it's going to come out very, very soon. And it's our special featuring famous people episodes.
Meghan Markle?
It's going to be someone. Yes. Are you kidding me? Do you think I would keep that from you? And we are, what are we doing? We just fixed Hillary Duff just in time for Pride.
Okay.
And then we recently released one version, like one kind of every episode that we put up on the Patreon, regardless of the tier, we put out one version of those for free that you don't even need to sign up and be a free member for.
Oh,
you can just, as a plebeian, like civilian walking down the street, can go on patreon.com/fixingfamouspeople and listen to an entire episode of like a bonus episode, an unfixable and invincible episode, an all tier advice episode, the a la carte, which is like the extended version of our prefix. Like every single thing you could buy that you will pay money to get on the Patreon, there's a free version of it right now on Patreon that you can listen to and see if like this is for you.
Okay, good. We'll do that. We'll tell everybody.
We were going to do an emergency Patti LuPone fixing, but she apologized to the Broadway community. So we're like holding off now, but she will be fixed soon. So don't worry.
Okay, good. And tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me at the Chris DeRosa and find the show at Fixing Famous People.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks.
The amazing Kate Casey.
I want to thank my great guest, Chris DeRosa, and remind you to make sure that you click subscribe or follow for this podcast. Please leave a 5-star review. Also, make sure that you are subscribed to my What to Watch list by going to katecasey.substack.com to get the list of what to watch each week in unscripted TV. Patreon bonus episodes, patreon.com/KCasey, and also Apple Podcast bonus episodes. And lastly, make sure that you follow me in my Facebook group. Join it, Reality Life with Kate Casey, and on social media. I'm on Instagram at KateCaseyCA, TikTok, it's Kate Casey, and Twitter, Threads, and Blue Sky at Kate Casey. Check back tomorrow for an all-new episode.
It's your girl Kiki, and if you haven't heard my podcast, baby, this is Kiki Palmer, you're missing out. You know I do it all. Acting, singing, hosting, producing. But this podcast right here, this is where I get to be my whole entire self with my people. And that means you. Every week we're hanging out, getting into the juiciest conversations. And trust me when I say the tea is hot and the guests are serving. We're talking entertainers, creators, thought leaders, everybody who's everybody comes through to keep it real with your girl. But this isn't just about me and my guests spilling tea. This is about us, you and me, hanging out every week, getting into everything from career moves to life drama to being a mom. Nothing is off limits. I'm always going to be your girl, Kiki, keeping it 100. So come through and join the conversation. Head over to YouTube if you want to watch the full experience. Or you can subscribe to Baby, This is Kiki Palmer on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. Want it early and ad-free? Join Wondery Plus right now.